Today, being retarded means leading a full life. Retarded people go to work or school, just like their neighbors, and come back to a real home. A supervised home, right in the neighborhood, where they belong. Being retarded never stopped anyone from being a good neighbor.
The Irish were slaves.
Slaves, welcome back, everybody. Fuck yeah, hope y'all have a rockin' ass night.
Irish were slaves. Episode whatever the fuck.
Made the executive decision. Me and Bryce. We got Anton on as our third co-host here.
Welcome.
We're a trio now.
I'm here forever.
We love you, bro.
I'm never leaving.
I'm glad you're here.
Irish were slaves.
Irish were
We
slaves.
need
The
a
blacks
third
were slaves.
co-host.
The Irish were slaves. The natives were
Yeah, I
slaves.
mean, there was a lot of
There were a lot of
there's
slaves.
a lot of slaves.
We got Markell here.
We got Markell.
Slave descendant.
What's up, y'all?
Me?
We gotta bring
Direct.
diversity to the show because the name is the Irish were slaves.
So,
Nah, see, Anton was just a DEI hire for sure.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Anton.
We
Yeah.
got him on here to
Yeah.
save face, okay?
Real shit. Just to let
That
everybody
episode
know.
about
Just to
Bryce,
clarify.
and he's alright. You gotta.
Bro, talking
gotta
about
fucking make
Lem,
it
it's
look
like,
better.
okay, we need to recruit a black guy on the show now. Starting to get risky now.
Start, yeah,
All right.
we're pushing the boundaries.
So first thing I want to say is shout out Vagina Jones, bro.
Dude, shout out Vagina Jones. He's been commenting on a lot of episodes, engaging
Shout
with
out
the shit.
Vagina
He actually
fucking
listens
Jones.
through it.
Yeah, Vagina Jones is fine.
Cause he'll make a
shout out
comment
you.
at the beginning of it, and then 40 minutes in he'll make a reference. And he's like, "That's crazy." It's
You
like,
know what, Vagina Jones? Shout out you, real nigga.
Yeah.
I hope your night going well, and many blessings to you.
great guy.
He might be like our first true supporter.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's
You're
good.
gonna be,
We
as
love you,
long as you
Vagina
follow
Jones.
us, you're gonna be rich and probably I don't fucking know, but yeah, bro, just keep supporting, man.
We're winning.
Keep supporting Vagina Jones. If
We got Markell on
if
this
we get
episode.
famous, we will take you out on
One.
tour.
Wagwan Markell.
Wagwan Markell.
Wagwan.
So Bryce, you had
The
a
one and
story?
only.
What were you saying, Markell?
No, I was just saying the one and
The
I
one
was just
and
tooting
only.
my own dick.
Oh, okay.
Just blowing my own cock, you know.
It's the one and only though, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. And only Markell XL, everybody.
Oh, yeah,
If you
shout out
listening,
Markell
shout out
XL.
him. Go fuck with him on all platforms.
Goes
Watch his
crazy.
streams. My
I'm
nigga is funny
posting
as shit.
wide open booty holes, videos online.
He
Now
really is.
You should get into porn.
I feel like
I should.
You
Think
should
so?
start laying down fucking You should put a bitch through a mattress,
You
bro.
really should.
I think he would
That'd
be
be
great.
sick as fuck.
Like, straight up, just find bitches that's just down with you, beating the absolute fuck out of them.
No, I
Like, that's
definitely
their
should. I
key.
definitely could. There's definitely some chicks I'm talking to that's
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't
yeah.
condone
disgusting
abuse, by the way.
horse,
Oh shit.
My headphone fell out.
Alright.
Hold on.
So Bryce, what were you talking about? You had something to say?
I'm just gonna hold my head like this. Yeah. Okay. Is everything good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So there's this story that we were gonna talk about. That we were just talking about before we recorded,
Yeah, no shit.
and we're gonna go ahead and say it on time. So there was this transgender. We'll say woman. We got to be.
Is it Kelly?
Hey, it's a
No.
woman. We're
not
not
Kelly.
transphobic. It's she. It's a she. Let's say she. Let's be respectful.
I thought we were bringing up Kelly again, dude.
No, we're not bringing.
Every
up
time
Kelly.
we come on the show, we just dog trans people. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's be
we
respectful.
have an episode
guys.
called
let's,
"The Trans."
Let's keep it clean.
But nah, there's this trans person that works at Savannah Riverside.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And my brother,
Don't tell me he hit. That's
he
crazy.
didn't hit. Just
Shake my head, bruh.
shaking the head, bro. Come on, man.
Cracked it.
But no, he was like, my brother made the joke. Somebody said, this dude goes by Tiffany, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
She goes by Tiffany.
She goes by Tiffany. And my brother was like, my brother goes, somebody asked her last name, and my brother said her last name is Penis. So everybody at
Tiffany
Savannah,
Penis.
Everybody at Savannah Riverside
Tiffany
That's-
Penis.
started
bro.
calling her
wild.
Tiffany Penis. Like literally site wide. Like, oh, there goes Tiffany Penis.
So yeah, my name's Light Blue Dick.
My name's Penis Envy.
I was like, where's Mark Vagina at, dude?
Where's Marcus Vagina? Where's Vagina Jones?
Vagina Jones.
Instead of Lou Dang, it's just Lou Dick.
Tiffany Penis was definitely getting pissed about this shit.
Did Tiffany Penis leave?
I think she's still there.
Shout out Tiffany Penis.
Wow, she's
Shout out
holding it
Tiffany
down.
Penis.
Dude, imagine having that fucking nickname and just being like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
It's good money.
Kind of like when Rigby changed his name to Trash
$28,
Boat.
$32 an hour.
Yeah.
But I'm Tiffany Penis now.
I'm Tiffany Penis now. People just go straight up to her face and be like, "What's up, Tiffany Penis?"
Just like getting back in your S10, just being like, well, at least they kind of respect me.
Yeah, he slams doors, sparks fucking Virginia Slim.
Yeah, they're not like.
Well, today was a great day.
They're not like, "Oh, you're."
Guess
a
what,
gross
honey?
bitch
They're
or
calling me
anything.
Tiffany. Oh, that's great. But they're calling me Tiffany Penis.
Like they come up to him respectfully about it. They're not like, "You're a gross bitch" or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're like, "What's
Hey,
up,
it's
Tiffany
pride.
Penis? What's going
Right.
on?"
Hey, Markell, I gotta ask, man, did you hear about the death of the voice actor of John Redcorn, man?
Yes,
Dude,
bro.
rest
It's
in peace.
fucking fucked.
Yeah, bruh.
He died for being gay.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Rest in
Goddamn was
peace.
grieving his dog. I read. I don't know how true that is, but he was grieving his
No,
dog.
yeah. Dude,
Fucking
2 years beforehand, his neighbors burned down his house, killing his dog in the process.
holy
Yeah.
fuck.
And then they went out to, like, check their mail. And along the mailbox was just, like, the dog's skull
Okay,
and
yeah.
collar.
Yeah, that's
and
what
they
I
started,
read
like,
was right.
screaming, crying.
Grieving. Grieving.
And, like, this Texas man was just like, shut the fuck up!
Oh, man. Sounds like a true patriot, huh?
Hey,
You know-
putting down the fucking Redskins, dude.
We make
Yeah,
jokes,
man.
but that guy's a
Patriotic as it
piece
gets,
of
I
shit.
guess.
I guess so, yeah, man.
We make jokes, but that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
Rest in peace, Jonathan Joss.
Rest in peace, John Redcorn.
Yeah, dude.
Pull him up on the screen for like a second, you know.
But yeah,
Swamp is up.
I didn't talk about it at all in like the last couple episodes, but the amount of false flags that have been happening, like I called it during the MAGA Spring episode.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of false flags start popping up and the media blames it on like terrorist groups and shit.
Yeah.
Being that
Yeah.
Trump and Western forces are starting to get away from Israel. And then sure enough, you had that dude kill those two Israelis, being like, oh, free Palestine. And like, he just got his photo opportunity and shit, and like, you haven't heard anything about him. And then you had that one dude. And then you had that one dude who like set fire to those pro-Israel protesters and shit, and they like chopped that up to being Middle Eastern terrorists and shit. But dude, if you see the fucking picture of this guy, he's about as fucking Jewish as they come,
Oh,
dude. It's fucking
shit.
crazy.
Oh, shit.
And then earlier today I was reading this article that Iran actually intercepted 13 ISIS combatants
Yeah.
that were about to run into like all these town squares and blow themselves up and shit in Iran.
Okay.
Holy shit.
And like it's just so crazy that ISIS just keeps on attacking all these Islamic governments and just hasn't like touched Israel once. And like back in 2013, this high up Mossad agent,
Yeah.
he was found to be leading ISIS battalion.
What the fuck?
So like, I don't know. I'm gonna just leave it there. I would never kill myself.
Never kill ourselves, bro.
I would never
Yeah,
kill
fuck.
myself. But enough with the fucking politics of
Yeah, man.
today's age. All right, let's run it back
Let's try it.
some decades.
Okay.
Running it back.
Okay, we're running it back.
We're running it
Quite
back
some time.
to the 19th century. Okay, because today we got a special episode for y'all.
Nice,
We are
nice.
covering. We're covering the Indochina War and the first half of the Vietnam War. So let's go ahead and get into it. I like talking about this because it's crazy to see a lot of shit that's happening nowadays, just like response to some shit that happened in like the 1830s.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and like it's all worldwide and shit. So, what y'all know about all this?
So, I mean, my interest in it is really like how crafty, the Vietnamese had got during, the Vietnam War.
Viet Cong. Man.
Yeah, man, like
VCs, bro.
It's just crazy how the way, like, I think it's funny. We thought we were gonna walk our way in that bitch,
No, No, and that's what we're going to talk about on this,
like,
dude.
I just love that so much.
It's nothing.
Like,
dude.
We were dropping Agent Orange, all type of shit, trying to cloud the brush, and
Did
it
nothing.
just wasn't. Yeah, it was
just
nothing.
hurt us more, if anything.
Exactly, and still suffer repercussions to this day.
Yep. I sometimes I see people, like one time I saw this Vietnam veteran, and on his hat it said Agent Orange. Yeah, 19th century. By the middle of the 19th century, there was a community of over 600,000 Roman Catholic converts in the kingdoms of Indochina.
Fuck.
And by the 1840s, they began to face prosecution from the local Buddhists. And by then, in 1847, they began to start putting a lot of these Catholic converts to death.
Damn.
You can put your shit away, Bryce. We're not talking about Ho Chi Minh for a minute.
Okay, cool.
Hell no, bro. What the
We're not. We're in the 1840s,
when
bro.
Finn said 1840s, I was like, I might as well go put my shit down, dude.
So, yeah. In 1847, they began putting a lot of these Catholic converts to death, which I do want to state that when these Jesuit priests and missionaries were coming over to Vietnam and all that, they weren't, like, converting them forcefully. They were just, like, literally teaching them the word of the Bible and
just
shit.
Spreading the word for real.
Yeah.
Like,
so
true
that's
gospel.
how they got, like, 600,000. That's not small numbers.
That isn't. That isn't.
600,000. So, in the 1840s, they began to face prosecution by local Buddhists and higher powers in that area.
Yeah.
And in 1847, they began to put them to death, starting with the execution of 2 Jesuit priests. By November of 1857, in response to all this, gaining a stronger army after sending a joint force to China during the Second Opium Wars, which we'll probably cover in a later episode. I don't know too much about the Opium Wars, but
They're probably crazy.
yeah.
They had to.
Yeah. From what I hear, it's some crazy shit going on.
The name Opium Wars in itself is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just picturing like Destroy Lonely and like Ken Carson oiled up, fucking wrestling in a
Yes, dude. Going to war with
Chrome heart
Summers.
everywhere.
Going to war with Summers.
wax
and
denims
shit.
tighter than fuck.
Yes,
you know?
dude.
So President
Big
Playboy
ass
Cardi.
boots.
It sounds like fucking SpongeBob walking in with those big ass boots. That's all you fucking hear. And the sounds of war never stop.
So, in response to these prosecutions, Napoleon III of France sent his boy Charles. I'm just gonna call him Charles because these fucking French names are some bullshit, dude. I'm not saying all these motherfuckers, alright? I'm just gonna say the first names. So, they sent his boy Charles down there to Indochina to shut these Buddhist bastards up, right?
Okay.
Because we're Team Catholic on this side. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Okay.
Jesus Christ. I thought y'all were preaching peace over here and you're harassing us. Fuck you. So, and by 1858, France begins to conquer independent kingdoms throughout Indochina, which nowadays that's considered Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam.
Word.
So, that whole area. Starting with an attack on the port city of Da Nang with support from the Spanish, because the Spanish are also mad Catholic. So you can kind of look at it as like an Asian crusade.
Yeah.
Of just like, alright, instead of Muslims, as Buddhists.
Yeah.
It's like some French guy just being like, what the fuck is Buddhism?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fuck these guys up.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
What the fuck is Buddhism?
And France thought it was gonna be an easy victory because they had like so much Catholics over there, you know, like 600,000. They thought it was gonna be some sweeping up shit. They didn't realize that like the Buddhists actually had an army, like the Vietnamese had some shit going on.
They were on some shit.
Yeah. So, and the local Christian Vietnamese people didn't support the French because they were just like, oh, it's invaders.
I mean, understandably so, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in a way. I mean, it's kind of some bullshit if you think about it. Like, they're here to save you, and you're just like, no. Yeah. But I guess later on in this episode, they're not wrong to think that. which I'll get into all that. We're still in the fucking 1800s. Goddammit.
Okay, got you.
Pretty fucking early on.
I know. So,
Shit, I'm learning shit right now.
Oh, yeah. This is a good learning experience.
they were met with more retaliation than expected by the Vietnamese military. They had, like, boats and all this shit. They had cannons on their ass and all that. And the French and Spanish were unable to move farther inland, and the Vietnamese army began to lay siege on the city of Da Nang. So the French and Spanish are just like, alright, we're here now.
Yeah.
But they can't go any farther. The Vietnamese are fucking them right now. There's like, yeah, you're not getting trade or anything. But one thing that they do have on their side is since they're holding this port city, their ships are able to move freely.
Okay. Word.
So then the French start to abandon the city of Da Nang in favor of Saigon. That boy Charles that I was telling you about,
Uh-huh.
he was like, alright, we're just going to go to Saigon. We're going to start fucking that shit up. And by 1859, they captured the city after destroying riverfront forts on the way to the city. So they were moving up, like, multiple rivers and stuff, and along those rivers there were just, like, bamboo huts and shit.
Yeah.
This was like, alright, cannon fodder.
Damn.
We're gonna fuck this shit up.
Damn.
And so, easy takeover.
Shit out the way.
But, in response to the city's takeover, a garrison of 1,000 French soldiers, that's who took the city. Just 1,000 French and Spanish people.
Word.
Along with support from 300 Filipino soldiers, because Spain, the Philippines was a colony of Spain at that point.
Okay, damn.
So they were also using them for troops and shit like that.
Damn.
And in response to the city's takeover, those 1,000 troops were laid siege upon again by over 10,000 Vietnamese soldiers. They got numbers out the ass,
Yeah.
dude. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, they pulled it deep.
Just a bunch of 5'4" Asians. Just like, Jesus Christ, dude. When does it end?
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were fucking like this.
Just running out the bushes is fucking killing everyone.
I was like, fuck, dude. Fuck.
Sheesh.
Cracking it open. It's a nightcast, dude. Talking history.
Skadoosh.
It's a good time.
There's maybe one podcast. No, actually, all of our casts have involved beer.
For the most part.
Yeah.
There's been like one that I was mostly sober on.
Was it
Yeah.
Beast Unleashed?
No, that was when I went. That's when we did our first episode. We're drifters.
Mm-hmm.
No, the first one I was on, dude, I was fucking hammered, dude. I was,
Oh yeah, dude.
That one was great.
dude, that was
How you feeling?
Dude, I was
Otis
fucking
from back
cooked.
In the barnyard.
Fucking
You got
drunk off milk, huh?
Yeah. Milk me, fuck nigga.
Milk me. Just hanging out the window, dude. That shit's so funny.
I'm gonna start doing. I'm just gonna walk around town with a fucking cow outfit on and say, "Milk me, nigga." Just like walk up to random people.
It's a cow farm.
It's a cow farm.
It's gonna be cows outside.
And then I'll be like, dude, honestly, bro, I felt when I was a kid and I seen that scene, like, I felt everything he said without like
Without even
Yeah,
having
you
to
know what I mean?
experience it.
yeah, like, dude,
I
like,
always thought that lady
conveyed
was an
so
annoying
much
bitch, too.
emotion
His wife's just
Yeah.
a retarded dumbass.
for sure. Like, dude, I felt you, bro. Like,
Shout out Vagina Jones.
Shout out Vagina Jones, bro.
Yeah, dude.
But-
Shut up,
fucking Vagina Jones, bro.
Back into what we talking about.
Yeah,
though.
diving back into it. At this point, the French are being stretched thin because the Opium Wars aren't over yet. Okay, those troops that got sent down from China was just like a small number of them. Most of their forces are still up there fighting those fucking drug addicts and shit.
Yeah. Tweaking
So
some shit.
yeah, literally,
like
it was
geeking.
Boxer Rebellion, shit
Yeah,
like that.
right.
Like, what the fuck? I probably fucked up that date, but
Oh yeah.
Hey, correct us if we're wrong.
yeah. What was the Boxer Rebellion, Bristol?
The Boxer Rebellion.
Yeah,
Let me look.
look that up as I dive into this.
Let me look up the Boxer Rebellion real quick.
A lot of the French troops in Indochina were sent back up in order to help out with the Opium Wars,
Word.
and the French.
1899.
Yeah, it was 1899
Okay.
to 1901.
Okay, word. So maybe later on.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we dive into the Opium Wars, that'll lead up to the Boxer Rebellion and shit like
Or
that.
some shit like
Yeah, the Boxer Rebellion is
It's all interconnected.
anti-foreign, anti-imperialist, and anti-Christian uprising in North China.
Okay. Yep,
So they're just anti-fucking Western, pretty much.
Yeah. Can't blame them. I mean, if you just have every area that was owned by, like, the Brits and shit, we're just like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah. They're like, quit fucking colonizing, you dumbasses.
And you can't even, like, blame that on the West, because, like, the first people to do that were the Irish.
Yeah, literally.
They were just like, dude, what the fuck?
Sorry, Anton.
A lot of French troops in Indochina were sent back up. French knew that they could only hold one city, and at this point, they both had Da Nang and Saigon.
Got you.
But they were being so stretched thin, they were like, alright, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
So all the boys from Da Nang,
No choice.
by 1860, the remaining soldiers in Da Nang were sent into Saigon to hold the line.
Okay.
Because Saigon was...
Was this like a last stand?
Yeah, it kind of is, because the French do set up negotiations saying that they would leave Vietnam with no territory gained, as long as the protection of Catholics would be guaranteed. But the emperor at the time rejected these negotiations because he felt he had the upper hand.
Damn.
So yeah, it really is a
Damn.
last stand in Saigon at
okay,
this
word.
point.
Okay.
Word.
But this fucking asshole, he thought he had it in the bag. But hey, in 1861, the Opium Wars are over, dude.
Damn.
Oh man, our Catholic gods are about to show up, and the French now send full attention on Indochina. 70 ships and 3,500 soldiers to kick it off.
Jesus.
70 ships.
Like
That's
they were
not
rolling deep.
bullshit, dude.
It's a fleet.
Yeah, dude. Straight up. They began to capture a bunch of cities, and by 1862, the emperor's waving white flags.
He's like, yep,
He's-
I'm done.
They got stomped out. They got stomped out the frame.
Within 2 years of him being like, "Ah ha ha ha, you stupid white man." It's like, all right,
You'll
dude.
stop at white boy.
That's
You got
it.
it. Yeah, no, you got
Let's
it.
wrap it up. Let's wrap it
I
up.
surrender.
And so, in 1862, the Treaty of Saigon says that Catholicism will be recognized as the fifth religion in the region. France gets a colony, which is known as a Cochin,
Yeah.
which is the most southern point of Vietnam. That's where they are. If you look at the map of like Vietnam and shit,
Yeah.
down this way right here, basically Saigon and shit like that, that's going to be French territory now. And the French are able to travel and trade freely along the Mekong River, and the Vietnamese emperor and shit like that owes the equivalent today of $1 million to France and Spain for the trouble that they caused over a 10-year period.
What the fuck?
Which, that's not bad.
Yeah, I was about to say, man.
Yeah.
A country paying off...
Are they just not choosing to pay it back, or are they just like not too doing it?
I don't know. I don't know the terms and conditions. I
Yeah.
wasn't there.
I got you. I feel
I don't
that.
know if it's like all right, after this you get an interest rate of 39%, like a fucking credit card or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, you gotta pay interest.
So, in 1863, the King of Cambodia sets up ties with the French colony for protection.
Okay.
And in exchange for control over certain provinces. So the King of Cambodia is like, hey, you can garrison your troops here and shit in order to protect me, but I just want some territory that wasn't, like, claimed yet.
Got you.
And the French are like, fucking, okay, dude.
Okay, dude. Yeah.
Works for me. We're definitely not gonna fuck you over at some point.
Got you.
No, yeah. Let's give him free reign.
Jumping to 1867, Admiral Pierre Paul, governor of Cochin, that colony, seizes 3 new territories, and the ruler of those lands gives them up peacefully to avoid any conflict.
Huh.
He's like, yeah, go ahead, take these, don't want no trouble. And then he just kills himself.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, what?
I feel like things could have gone over smoothly for him.
Yeah, like, man.
But-
damn.
Yeah, no, he just killed himself.
He's like,
Alright.
these lands are very depressing.
I cannot rule anymore.
I cannot rule anymore.
It's like, dude, you're not Japanese. So relax, dude. You're Cambodian.
I cannot rule anymore. I'm gonna kill myself.
Time skip. bunch of bullshit happens. We'll probably cover it. Bunch of little skirmishes between French and all these fucking Asian people and shit. They're losing. The Asian people are losing. French are gaining territory.
Usually how it goes.
And by 1887, after capturing all the surrounding provinces, France sets up a puppet state made up of multiple colonies known as the Indo-Chinese Union. So that's when you actually hear the first use of Indochina.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Because at this point it was just a bunch of like independent kingdoms and hamlets and all this shit. And France is just like, fuck that. We're making our own borders.
Okay. They laid down the law.
Yeah.
Laid down the law.
They had a fucking enough of that Buddhist bullshit, dude.
Like,
they were like, what the fuck is this about?
What's your take on this, Markell?
You rocking with the French?
I'm honest. Yeah, I'm with the French on this one.
No,
I'm with the French on this one.
I mean, dude, yeah, you look, guys, you're not gonna come in here and bring in this little what's this jiggy wig y'all are bringing in. You know? Listen, guys, we kind of like it one way. We like our baguettes, you know. We like our pasta. Is it the French eat pasta?
We love our God.
We love our God. Leave that fat guy out of here. You know, I understand them. I can see where they're coming from.
You know, when I was learning about the Vietnam War and shit, I was like, damn, bro, we were doing bullshit. The French was on bullshit. And then I learned all this 1800 stuff, and I'm like, oh, like, there's something behind this.
Yeah.
So I thought they were just, like, talking out their ass, you know? It's like, leave these little Asian people alone. It's like, oh, it turns out that, like, we can't coexist.
yeah. Yeah.
That's what this boils down to.
Wish you could all just be peace and love, man.
No, it's not, dude.
Nope.
Can't
Yeah,
be.
it'll never be that.
If you went to Kent State before, like, the National Guard shot all those students, I feel like if I showed up with the time machine and was like, yo, no, in the 1800s they were like dickheads.
Yeah, they're like
oh.
dickheads. They're like, oh, okay. So we
Let's
should
just leave.
We should stay in Vietnam War, basically. And they were like, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, no,
No.
but I
The National
Put in
Guard
code
just
and just
busts our
leave.
fucking
Yeah.
heads in.
just like I still don't have the answer to that.
Right.
But no, they're really beating the shit out of them at Kent State.
No, they killed them.
Yeah, they killed a couple people.
You know what the memorial is for that?
Where's it at?
It's a parking lot.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so they just took that memorial down and made it a parking lot.
No, there never was a memorial.
Oh.
I think a parking lot is, like, pretty cool.
It's like what was it, like 4 students or something died. Just like, all right,
Yeah.
honey, do you think I should back in on this one?
Yeah, there's like 4 students that died, and there's like at least 100 of them that got the shit beat out of them.
Yeah, dude, they were fucking them up, bro.
Yeah, man.
But we could dive into that whenever we cover the second half of the Vietnam War, because that's when that bullshit happens.
Yeah, I kind of took us off track. My bad.
No, you're straight.
Just
I
a
think I
crazy
brought up
time.
Kent State. I don't know. During their domination, they began to reform local population into following the ways of the sophisticated European. Goddamn right. And began to fuck up the land of its resources.
Resources.
They began to fuck up the land of its resources. Top ones being rice, coal, and rubber. So that's what they're raping from this land. It's just like, all right, give us all this shit, yo. So they
Is it for rice and rubber?
Yeah.
rice, coal, and rubber. Yeah, and,
I can see the coal, but the rice.
Fucking rubber.
You know.
Now we're getting into
They're like, bro, we need gaskets.
a man. We're getting into a man by the name of Ho Chi Minh.
Oh, Uncle
That was not his name to begin with.
Tell me-
Do you know his original name,
Pull it
Bryce?
up. It's Uncle
Because
Uncle
around
Ho time.
1919, 1920, he's traveling around the world, this man, who becomes a major figure. And doing my own research on this guy, coming up in school, learning about the Vietnam War, you learn, like, oh, Ho Chi Minh's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But upon further investigation on my end, Ho Chi Minh's the fucking man, dude.
Dude, Uncle
He's
Ho.
the dog, bruh.
Uncle
I
Ho,
really
bruh.
fuck with him.
So,
Uncle Ho, bro.
You wanted to hear his original name?
Yeah, what is
This
it?
is very hard to pronounce. I'm going to butcher the shit out of it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Injuin.
Speak up some. You got that.
Huh?
You got that air conditioning going now.
Injuin Sin Kung. That's his name.
Injuin Sin Kung.
Injuin Sin Kung.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have changed my name too if I was.
Yeah. Ho Chi Minh rolls off the tongue way fucking better.
Yeah.
Born 1890.
Okay.
Let's see. Born in a French Indochina province. Received a French education.
Which French Indochina province?
Nagi.
Hey, watch it now.
Okay. We can cut this part out. I'm gonna say
N-word.
NG.
Say it.
A
Let me read it. Let me look at it.
See, say it, fam.
It's NG.
Say it, fam.
NG.
Say it. Go ahead.
Nihian.
Nah, bro. You gotta say it the right way.
Bryce, you know all about the right way. Say it.
So he's from there.
So he's from that place.
He's from Oakland, California. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
He's
Like
from
it.
Oakland,
Received
California.
a French education.
Godsdale.
Starting in 1911, he worked in various countries overseas.
Like what?
Was a founding member of the French Communist Party. What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's founding member of the French Communist Party in Paris. After studying in Moscow, he founded the Vietnamese Revolutionary Youth League in 1925, which he transformed into the Indochinese Communist Party in 1930. Trying to get to his early life that I have notes on.
Here, I got it.
Overseas. All right, we'll go to overseas real quick. In Saigon, he applied to work as a kitchen helper. So he
For the
started-
French. He was
yeah, for
working on a
French.
French ship.
So this man was like cooking and stuff.
Like some Sanji One Piece shit.
Yeah, that shit's crazy, and just became what he did.
Yeah.
He just started off working on a French ship.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. A lot of these founders of the Communist Party and shit were actual, like, blue-collar workers and shit like that. We're just like, I'm fucking sick of this shit.
Yep.
And he left for
He
Dunkirk.
just at work like, you know what would make this a lot better?
If I just fucking killed
communism.
everyone. If I just...
It's like, hey guys, come around. Let me tell you about something called communism. Like, crazy.
So, yeah. 1919, 1920, Ho Chi Minh is traveling around the world, initially working as a cook on French ships, and eventually spends some time in America, but would settle in France.
Yeah, he settled in France.
He was a fan of Western intellectuals, but was not a fan of people ruling over him. Like, he was a big fan of, like, Plato and all that shit. Fucking Henry David Thoreau, whoever the fuck. But, he wasn't a fan of, like, the actual Western rulers.
He tried to apply for French colonial school, but did not succeed. So that's one of the biggest reasons why he left France. Okay. Yeah.
France? He left France?
Yes. So United States in 1912, he started working as a cook's helper on a ship in 1912. Same job, different country.
Okay.
And it said he may have lived in New York. May is a crazy statement to say.
Yeah, it's like, did he or did he not?
Did he or did he not? New York, Harlem.
Well, I mean, I feel like he probably did stay in New York because why else would he give a fuck about, like, all these American speakers and shit? Like, he was a big fan of Woodrow Wilson and shit like that.
Yeah.
So he worked as a baker at the Parker House Hotel. I believe it was Harlem or Boston. It's not telling me. But the only evidence he was in the United States is a single letter to a French colonial administrator in 1912.
Okay.
So, like, there's very little evidence he was even there.
Okay.
So how they got all this speculation, I don't know.
Yeah. He starts to study Marx and Lenin. That's who he studies.
Yeah, he's been doing that a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's when he's over in France and Soviet Union. And then that's when he goes on to form the French Communist Party in the 1920s.
Okay.
He made contact with a Korean nationalist in the U.S. And he was influenced by Pan-Africanist and black nationalist Marcus Garvey during his stay.
Okay.
So that's also part of
So he was
his
rocking with the black people.
He was rocking with the blacks.
See, that's one thing that brings me to I was watching this documentary and they had like these interviews of like a lot of black Vietnam veterans and shit.
Yeah.
And they would talk about how like they get like split off from their platoon and stuff, and the Viet Cong would come across them, and the Viet Cong would be like, "Yo, we know what's going on in America. You don't have to fight for them, dude. You could just run off with us." And
Damn.
this one black guy on there, he was like, "Yeah, I got like 13 illegitimate children over there, dude. I'm fucking them all."
Jesus.
Like they went over there and like the Viet Cong were like, "Yo, dude, we know about Martin Luther King, like Malcolm X and all this shit." Like they were like treated actually well by the Viet Cong and shit.
Damn.
So like a lot of like black soldiers were just like, "Fuck this, dude."
So he attended meetings of the Anton. I'm gonna let you say this. The Universal
Negro Improvement Association.
I'm gonna let Anton say that. And then, yeah, so from 1913 to 1919, he lived in Britain,
Okay.
in the province of Hornsey.
Okay.
He worked as a chef or a dishwasher
Baller.
at a hotel in West Ealing. Claims he was trained as a pastry chef under some French guy. I can't pronounce his name. Auguste Escoffier.
Some French
At the Carlton
asshole.
Hotel in Westminster. Not supported by documentary evidence. So, these are all just fucking claims.
Don't fucking quote us, dude. We're just having fun.
We're just having fun. This is my research. Is shit.
Dude, I wrote down notes. Bryce is just... this asshole, we were at this Mexican restaurant. This asshole, he's like, "Alright, yeah, I'm gonna do my part." And he just like goes to all these different articles and just starts screenshotting them.
Bruh.
I'm like, you fucking asshole.
Bruh.
All right.
He's reading this shit off of fucking Vanity Fair right now, dude.
He's getting his fucking facts from Barstool. Like, fuck me.
That shit says Dave Portnoy right there, dude.
Bro, this is the fucking Onion. What are you talking about, bro?
He's straight from the Onion.
But no, he was employed as a pastry chef in New Haven
Okay.
on a ferry route. Let's see. He began to show interest. He went back to France while living in France. He showed interest to the French section of the Workers' International Party.
Yep.
So
And then forms the French commies. But
the French commies.
is disappointed when he sees that the French communists don't really actually give a fuck about where he's from and still actually want to keep Indochina as a colony.
Oh, wow.
No.
So he's like, "Oh, they don't understand what I'm trying to do here." It sounds like a lot of like these communists over in America.
So he,
You know?
Yeah.
he joined
They missed
in
the fucking
1919 the group of Vietnamese patriots in France.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really just making moves for Vietnam overseas.
Well, that's
like
what I'm
crazy.
saying. He breaks away from them once he sees, and then once he breaks away from the French Communist Party, that's when he starts to receive more support directly from Chinese and Soviet communists. And if you're a fucking communist, that's who you want sourcing you, alright? If
Yeah.
you got the Russians and the Chinese backing you at this point,
Yeah.
it's like, alright, I'm
So-
doing something good here.
So this group petitioned for the recognition.
If you're communist. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know about everyone's views out there.
If you're communist.
yeah, if you're communist, it's whatever you feel. The group petitioned for recognition of civil rights of the Vietnamese people in French Indochina. So he was,
And that's when he's like, "Oh, these French communists don't actually give a fuck."
yeah, these French communists don't give a shit about what we're fucking putting down right now. So,
And that's when he creates his own ideology called Ho Chi Minh's thought.
Ho Chi Minh's thought. He left in 1923. He left Paris for Moscow,
Yep,
carrying a passport with the name Chen Vang.
baller.
So he just went under different aliases and didn't give a
It's
shit,
my new COD tag, Chin Vang.
bro. So he was using somebody else's passport, a Chinese merchant's passport.
Winner.
In January 1924, he attended Lenin's funeral.
Damn, dude, he was locked in.
He
Dude.
was
What the
going
fuck is
crazy.
going on?
Yeah, what the fuck?
He attended Vladimir Lenin's funeral.
I would too, dude.
mean, who wouldn't, you know?
And participated in the 5th Comintern Congress in 1924 before arriving to Canton, China in 1924, using the name Lai Thoi. So this changed his name again.
Damn, dude. He's like fucking Jason Bourne.
Real
Bro's
shit.
just Jason Bourne. He's just like, bro, I don't give a shit. I'm stealing everyone's identities. We're making fucking moves.
Like Ho Chi Minh just like waking up hammered and just looking at your fucking wallet. It's just like all these different people. It's just like, who am I?
Yeah. Who am I?
So in China, he organized youth education classes and occasionally gave socialist lectures at Vietnamese revolutionary young people living in China.
See, don't get it twisted, y'all. This guy is actually very smart.
This guy was fucking genius, bro.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, look what the fuck he was on.
I mean, we're gonna talk about this like this whole episode, but like this guy was not no dumbass, dude. That's what gets me is like a lot of people are like, oh man, how did we get beaten by these rice farmers? And it's like, well, these guys were smart as shit
Yeah,
and like literally fought for decades before the U.S. even showed up.
Like, come on now.
Because at this point, we haven't even gotten into World War II.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, after he taught all those people at the military academy, those people would become the seeds of a new revolutionary pro-communist movement in Vietnam several years later.
Okay.
So he's really fucking
he's
turning the fucking
grinding.
wheels.
He was
Yeah.
planting seeds.
Dude.
He was the gardener.
He's not no bullshitter, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what like, that's what just gets me with like a lot of these communists that you see on Twitter, like these American communists who just like preach shit and stuff and like never get up off their ass. Like if you really want to make some shit shake, dude,
Yeah.
you gotta get up off your
Yeah.
fucking ass and like actually get out there. Because like
That's
Ho Chi Minh was dirt fucking poor, and he's moving to like France, New York, Moscow, and shit.
Come on now, like,
He showed up to Lenin's funeral. It's like he's teaching children the ways of his indoctrination and shit. It's like he's not bullshitting, dude. He
What
had
was
a
the real
vision.
deal?
He had a
What was the
vision
real
and
deal?
executed it.
Alright, so according to William...
He was so good at what he did, he didn't even die by like bombs or anything. He just succumbed to cancer.
see? That's the only way you can kill a nigga like that, bro. Like,
So he married a Chinese woman named Tang Toyet Min.
Hot.
Tang Toyet
He-
Min.
Dude, I bet she was
Fucking
bad
loved
as
him.
fuck,
I bet
dude.
she was.
No, for
real.
sure.
I bet that ass was fat.
Yeah,
Well,
the
that's
one
what
fat
that
ass
is.
Chinese
Yeah.
lady out there, he
Yeah.
had her.
So in China, he opened a political training school for Vietnamese revolutionaries in 1925 and 1926. Oh, this was... I went backwards.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. That was before that happened. Oh, this girl was 21 and he was 36 when they got married.
Dude,
Baller.
dap me up, dude. What the
Even more
fuck, bro? Holy shit,
God
dude.
damn.
I told you she was bad,
God
bro.
damn.
What the fuck?
God damn. Bro was cooking. Bro
Dude.
was cooking.
He was like, hey, baby, you ever read Marx? And she was like, oh. It's like, yo, locked in, dude.
Yup. He smashed that night.
So, somebody said that he betrayed a friend named Fan Boy Chow,
Hey, you gotta step on neck sometimes, dude.
a famous
you know?
leader.
You
I
can't be
cut off my
great.
day one for the win.
You can't be
For the
great.
win,
You can't
bro.
be great without a couple skeletons in the
Yeah.
closet, you know?
So, this motherfucker, he betrayed him, a father's friend. And
That's
his friend,
nothing. That's nothing. A
His
father's
father's
friend?
old friend.
Like,
Fuck him.
To French...
I'd betray my dad's friend. What?
But he betrayed them to French Secret Service agents
That's not cool. That's not
in
cool.
Shanghai for...
bro, it's low key kind of.
Why'd he switch? Why'd he snitch, though?
It says 100,000 pastries? I gotta be reading this wrong, bro. Pastries gotta be fucking slang for something, dude.
Them birds.
Just fucking migrant workers.
Yeah.
Bro,
Like-
imagine he just betrayed him for 100,000 pastries.
Oh. The reason why he did it is because he wanted to stir up anti-French sentiment, and because he needed money to establish communist organization. So, okay, what I'm picking up is that...
My dream is to win.
No, what I'm picking up is that he was fronting. He was like, no, dude, I wanted him to be, like, anti-French. At the end of the day, he is a San Francisco faggot, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise up anti-French sentiment. But then he went on to say, oh, I needed money to raise my communist party. It's like, oh, no, you were just broke.
Yeah. Yeah, you were just down that.
So
Okay,
Fanboy
just-
Chow was sentenced to a lifetime of house arrest.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say what?
That's not good, but it's not bad.
Dude,
I'd be
What
pretty
it-
pissed if I
dude,
was stuck
honestly,
in my house.
dude's dad was on some bullshit smuggling 1,000 pastries.
Yeah.
I'd snitch on him for being a goofy, dude.
Like, come on.
Be like,
man.
yo.
I mean, I'd do some shit for 100,000 fucking pastries.
You gonna say something?
So in 1927,
After pastries, anything.
after
can happen.
Chiang Kai-shek's anti-communist coup, he left Canton to go back to Moscow, spending part of the summer recuperating from tuberculosis in Crimea.
Damn, dude. He was in Crimea?
Yeah, he was in Crimea, in Ukraine.
This
Before
dude was
returning
breaking
no,
the
that's
rules.
Russia.
Before,
On this podcast, Crimea is Russia.
it's up for specs.
No, the Russians got that bitch in, like, 2014, dude.
Okay, they do have that shit. Right, as of right now, it's Russia. Anyways, he returned to Paris again.
Get the fuck out of France, dude.
He returned.
They hate you.
Like,
They hate you. You're gonna go on to beat the shit out of them.
And then he returned to Asia, going back to Bangkok, Thailand,
Nice.
in 1928. Let's see what else he did. Staying in the Thai village of Nam Kok
Nice.
until 1928, when he moved to India and then Shanghai. Why was he moving so crazy?
but I had to get the fuck out the way.
Bro,
that's
bro
why.
people were like trying to kill him or
When,
something.
yeah, I was gonna say when you
Not
moving like
something,
how
I
he
mean-
moving, bro. Like you can't be.
Nah,
somewhere
he
too
had
long.
people on his top,
Yeah.
dude. What the fuck?
Yeah.
When you try to spearhead a communist movement,
Yeah, no.
for sure.
If you're trying to make
You gotta
some
stay
shit
on your
shake,
P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Bro slept with it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
one
yeah.
under
Slept
the
with it.
pillow.
Yeah, dead
In
ass.
1930, he chaired a meeting with representatives from two Vietnamese communist parties to merge.
Yeah.
The
Can I step in?
Yeah, go ahead.
1930. The Indo-Chinese Communist Party is formed on the ideologies of Marx and Lenin. Ho Chi Minh is still studying but has not fully taken part with the Indo-Chinese Communist Party, which is probably what you're talking about. Meeting up with them,
Yeah.
learning, seeing what's going on. Hasn't fully spearheaded this shit yet.
Okay.
So Ho Chi Minh actually did not find that.
Mm.
I don't know who founded the Indo-Chinese Communist Party, but he didn't have too much to do with it.
Got you.
And 1939, we're jumping ahead. We're
Let me
jumping
put this
ahead.
part in real quick.
Yeah.
Then you can jump ahead. Because of this, in June 1931, he was arrested by Hong Kong police force in a joint operation
Sleeping dogs.
with French authorities.
Yeah. What the fuck?
But he got arrested by sleeping dogs
Yep.
with a joint operation with France to send him back to Indochina, and then a British council had him reported as dead to avoid being extradited.
Okay. Oh, wow. Holy shit.
That's
So
kind of nutty.
Stranger bold.
Yeah. Somewhere.
it was ruled that he would be deported from Hong Kong as an undesirable.
Okay, so he was sent back to Vietnam.
He would eventually be released and escorted to Shantou, and then returned to the Soviet Union again.
Oh,
Holy shit,
What
dude.
the
and taught
fuck?
at the Lenin Institute in Moscow. So yeah,
Damn.
Finn, if you want to go ahead and skip ahead, you can.
1939, World War II starts. Germany whoops France's ass.
Yep.
Takes over, conquers Paris and all that shit. And in doing so, they're signing all these papers and shit. And one of the accords is that France has to hand over their colony of Indochina to Japan. Because Japan and Germany are allied at this point. And that happens in 1940. France falls and the Communist Party... But when France falls, hands over shit to the Japanese,
Yeah.
the Communist Party in that area is like, time to take shit.
Yep.
Time to take shit, bro.
We're gonna fucking try to piss on every bush we see, dude.
That's
Pretty
right.
much.
So, the Communist Party sees this as an opportunity to spread its roots. But in September, Japan immediately invades northern Indochina, which is the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah.
This is northern Vietnam. This is where our boy Ho Chi Minh and all that shit is.
Got you.
So, they invade northern Indochina in order to cut off China from their allied supplies through railway. Because, guys, I don't know if you know this, but Japan fucking hates China.
Oh yeah, they fucking despise China.
Yeah, they're raping Nanking and all that shit, dude. It's horrible. Which, well, there's so much history we have to cover on this show.
It really is.
That shit's funny. Even in that movie Midway, bro. Historically accurate or not,
Yeah.
he was like, I just bombed Japan today. And they're like, you bombed Japan? And they're like, yeah. And they just start like high-fiving fucking
Yeah.
Doolittle and shit.
Yeah, that was in China. So, they invade northern Indochina in order to cut off China from their allied supplies through railway. Because in Indochina, Chinese do have a railway connecting them to like the ocean and shit through the Gulf of Tonkin and all that.
Yeah.
Japan severs that shit, bombs the fuck out of these railways and
Cut
shit.
that shit off.
Yep. 1941, Japan occupies the entire colony of Indochina, and at this point, Ho Chi Minh returns to the Holy Lands. He's here, and he's pissed.
Yeah.
He's upsetty in his fucking spaghetti, dude. Alright? He sees this bullshit, returns to Indochina after spending 3 decades around the world. Just bullshitting in France and the Soviet
Bro was
Union
living
and
like
all
it
this
was
shit.
One Piece for real.
Yeah.
Like dead ass.
Yeah, dude, he's Luffy, dude.
Dead ass.
It's going crazy.
Monkey D.
He starts to loosen up on his Marxist ideologies in favor of his own, Ho Chi Minh's thought, and this is where we first start to see the implementation of Ho Chi Minh's thought. His ideas were more centered on rural worker revolution, whereas Marx and Lenin thought more along the lines of city and industrial worker revolution.
Oh, fuck.
Because, think about it. Russia, Germany, Poland, all that shit, you think factories and stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's where the split happens, and that's where Ho Chi Minh starts to ally himself more with the Chinese communists, because Mao Zedong, his ideologies are more along the lines of rural communism. The Communist Party begins to work with other paramilitary groups as resistance against the Japanese occupation, known as the Viet Minh. This is the north area. This is when the Viet Minh is formed.
Got you.
The U.S. joins into the war against the Japanese, and Ho Chi Minh is a big fan of Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Huge fan.
He even sends off letters to FDR, pledges the Viet Minh to Allied powers, and tries to reach out to U.S. intelligence that is in China at this point, that are helping out the Chinese.
Got you.
Moving along like enemy lines, just trying to sabotage whatever grip that the Japanese have in China and shit like that.
Yeah.
And so Ho Chi Minh's like, yo, we got fighters down here, man.
Like, we're ready. Like, put us in, put us in,
dude,
coach.
See, that's what's crazy, learning about all this, because, like, Ho Chi Minh, this is America we're talking about. He's like, fuck yeah, dude. And then years later, he just puts belts to ass to us.
Dead ass.
It's like, wow.
Yeah. Straight did, too.
No, yeah, he fucked us up, dude.
Really did. Our troops still suffering. Like, the motherfuckers
Yeah.
that suffer are still fucked up.
Yes, dude. Agent Orange, a dude's just walking around the store and just like, ah!
God damn.
1944, the Japanese totally overthrow French rule in Indochina. I forgot to mention that the whole time that the Japanese are in Indochina, they're still allowing French puppet governments to operate where they were.
Gotcha.
As long as they were just like taking orders from the Japanese and stuff.
Yeah.
These French aristocracy people, like plantation owners, all this shit, they were free to move as they could.
Took advantage of that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But it bites them in the ass because all it's doing is pissing off these Vietnamese
Everything
people.
is consequences.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course.
But in 1944, Japan totally overthrows the French rule. So those plantation owners and shit that I was telling you about, yeah, get them out of here.
Yeah,
They're gone.
Fuck out the way.
Yep. U.S. starts working cordially with the Viet Minh. But this is 1944. And I don't know if you guys know, but in 1945, the U.S. sends officers into Indochina to begin training the Viet Minh. That's when they set up close ties. That's when officers are actually like, "Hey, here's the Thompson submachine gun.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing and shit."
This is what we're doing right now.
Bombs drop.
Bombs.
Okay.
Bombs drop. That's it. They're out of there. They're gone. They're gone.
They're gone. Yeah, they just wave the white flag.
Yep.
Got the fuck out the spot.
And initially, FDR was against the French for claiming they lost territory of Indochina after the war, but President Truman would rather restore it as an ally against communists. So our boy FDR, who Ho Chi Minh was a huge fan of, sending all these letters and shit, being like, "Hey man, let's do this." And FDR was like right on board. He was like, "Yeah, once this war's over, this territory's yours. French have nothing to do with it."
Word.
Yeah.
God, how I wish shit like that could have played out.
Yeah,
Dude.
dead ass.
It would have been a totally different world that we're living in right
real
now.
spill.
But
real
no.
spill.
But no, Truman would rather restore it as an ally against communists. Because for whatever fucking reason, we just give so much a shit about the spread of communism.
Yeah, like
at
the
this
fucking
point.
whole Red
they're
Scare.
like-
Yeah,
and
dude.
shit, like,
It's just so irrational.
We're
in
like, no!
hindsight.
Yeah, we were
No!
hyper paranoid. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. we were-
Yeah, dude. What the fuck?
fuck?
Like, that shit would have... I don't give a fuck how many Hollywood actors and shit were supporting in, like, the 40s and stuff.
Y'all can't even fuck
It
less
wouldn't
about them.
have infiltrated our politics
No.
like that, I don't think.
No.
I don't think it would have been no.
No. But, anyways, Ho Chi Minh sends letters to President Truman, but he never gets them as they're intercepted by State Department officials. Yeah. So Truman's, like, doing all this stuff with the French, and Ho Chi Minh's just, like, sending them letters being like, "Yo, man. Yo, what's going on? Yo, dude.
What the fuck?
What the fuck's happening?"
Yeah.
Like, state officials are like, "Nah, he's not reading that."
Yep.
No, he never saw those letters. Truman
Ooh.
died not knowing that he got all these letters sent to him.
Fuck.
U.S. says that it's not against French reestablishment, but won't intervene to restore it. So they're saying, like, yeah, French, you do you, but we're not helping you out. You got to do it all yourself.
Basically separate ties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Vietnam is then split into two zones at the 16th parallel. Nationalist China to the north and British Vietnam to the south. Because at this point, the French are gone.
Yeah.
And, well, not necessarily gone, but they're so weak because they got
thin
butt
in
fucked by
numbers.
the Nazis
Yeah.
for so fucking long at this point.
Yeah, they have different little strongholds around North Vietnam.
Yeah, and the British are helping them reestablish.
Yeah.
Since America said that, hey, we're not having anything to do with this, the British are like, oh, all right then. We'll go ahead and step on in there for you.
We'll help the French.
Yeah. The first time in for...
Fucking ever. They're like, you know what? The French aren't too bad. The French aren't too
Oh, who you
bad.
holding down them little Chinese? No, they're actually Vietnamese. Oh, same thing.
Same fucking difference.
Ho Chi Minh is trying to spread his influence in the north, but due to ongoing civil war in China, China is having their civil war right now. Communists are overthrowing shit up there. The communists
They're
that was
turning
working
up.
with Ho Chi Minh and all that,
Yeah.
they're like, all right, it's time to take over our country.
Yep. Time to take it. Yep.
So that's what they're doing. And widespread looting is going on in the north of Vietnam
Damn.
because it's just total government collapse and shit.
Yeah.
It's hard for him to get a foothold back in the Tonkin province. And to the south, he does not have a presence in Saigon at all. They don't give a fuck about they're like, Ho Chi who?
Yeah.
Ho Chi fucking what?
So, but General MacArthur delays British arrival in southern Vietnam until Japanese fully surrender, allowing Ho Chi Minh to get a hold in Saigon. So he's able to spread his name and stuff due to General MacArthur being like, hold the fuck on. War's not over yet.
Okay.
So, that allows that to happen. September 1945, World War II fully concludes and Ho Chi Minh marches on the Tonkin province and declares independence on September 2nd. Which, surprisingly enough, U.S. has representatives at the ceremony and even salutes the new Vietnamese flag.
Oh, fuck.
So they recognize
Okay.
Ho Chi Minh's ruling and, like,
Yeah.
independence and all this shit.
Got you. Gave it its respect.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they were, like, still on board and all this shit at this point.
damn. Okay.
September 11th, British forces, mostly Indian, because the Brits still have their Indian colony going on.
Got you.
So a lot of British forces, mostly Indian people and shit, like Shikris or what have you, those warriors,
Yeah.
alongside French soldiers, Britain decides to support French control. So French are starting to establish their colony once again
Got you.
with support of like British troops and shit. Which this launches Operation Masterdome because the Vietnamese aren't too keen on this whole situation.
Not at all.
Oh, shit.
So Operation Masterdome happens, aka the Southern Resistance War. This is all happening in Saigon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tonkin is established. That's northern Vietnam and all that shit. Ho Chi Minh, he's running his shit and stuff. But then you have all these, like, communist people who are like, yo, what about us? Down in Saigon and shit. And fighting against French occupation and shit like that.
Yeah.
They're essentially just, like, freedom fighters who are just studying Marx and stuff. And so Britain decides to send in Major General Douglas Gracie. And Douglas Gracie is a real motherfucker, dude. He's a son of a bitch.
Oh, shit.
Douglas Gracie. He was sent in to oversee the transition of power, and his terms during his deployment is to accept Japanese surrender, process Japanese soldiers back to Japan, like put them on boats, get them out of there, wait for another boat, get them out of there and shit. Send French prisoners back home. French prisoners of war who were captured by the Japanese and shit.
Damn.
They were supposed to be sent back to France to like recuperate and all this shit.
Yeah.
Avoid internal politics with the Viet Minh and shit like that. Do not get involved with the local fucking government, okay? Don't do that
stay
shit.
The fuck out of that.
And don't acknowledge the Viet Minh. Like, don't see them as a force, because if you do, that will give them power and shit, you know?
Got you.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut to the chase. All of his terms, he outright rejects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that I just
I can
listed
see
off
that,
not to do,
He does it.
he goes on. He goes on to do.
We're not doing this shit.
Oh, fuck it!
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
So, he arrives in Saigon, which is in utter chaos, and has no current standing government. Like, the French haven't even gotten a grasp or anything
Okay.
down there. And Gracie immediately goes against one of his orders and begins to help French residents restore their power in the region. Don't get involved with internal politics.
Damn.
Gracie only has 13,000 troops out of 70,000 Japanese troops that need processing. And he's like, okay, we're outnumbered. If these Japs want to try some shit, they could definitely do it.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I'll cut him some slack. Some of these things that he, like, outright goes against, I can't blame him, because in turn of figuring out that he's outnumbered, he breaks another one of his orders, and Gracie begins to arm French prisoners as a security force.
Fuck.
All of those soldiers that were captured and shit that he was supposed to send back to France, he's like, yeah, no, now you're security.
Oh, shit.
So he's using them as troops now, as he awaits British reinforcements. While this is going on, Ho Chi Minh calls for no violence, but the Viet Minh go on to commit targeted killings against the Japanese and French alike. And in September 23rd, 1945, Gracie supports a French coup in Saigon and arms 1,400 prisoners of war.
Oh my god.
He just goes against two orders right there.
Yeah, like that's serious.
He is wildin', bro.
He was on his shit, for real.
Many Vietnamese citizens are beaten, and in retaliation the following day, a group of communist Vietnamese kill over 200 French residents.
Boy. They were on some shit.
Bullshit. They were fucking people up.
I can't blame them, though, because, like, imagine just, like, hearing your mom got beat, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
at that town? We're going
to
to kill those motherfuckers tomorrow? Shit.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Like, fuck these motherfucking French.
Nananta very honorable.
I hate the French.
And in response to that, Gracie responds by arming more French. And now there's open fighting going on in the streets at this point. Like,
They going ham.
yeah.
They going fucking
There's
retarded.
like in cities, they're just having skirmishes, just like all throughout the southern province of like Vietnam and shit like that.
Man, shit was going nuts.
Yeah, dude, they're sparking shit, dude.
Yeah.
And this is all like World War II weapons, so it's not like muskets and shit
No,
like
it's like
that.
fucking grease gun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fucking M1 Grand, fucking
Real war, you know?
Yeah,
Real fucking war.
Real fighting.
big shells. 1911 to the dome.
yeah,
You know what
dude.
I'm saying?
No fucking drones around here. you
Yeah,
know?
no.
You want to get up close and personal.
Bayonets even.
Yeah, bayonets even.
Yeah. The world went to shit after we stopped using those.
Tommy
After we
guns
stopped
and
using
shit.
swords, you know, in the
Yeah.
army, like everything's been gone to shit.
So, after all this fighting and shit are going on, a lot of Vietnamese citizens that are on the fence at this point, they're like, okay, this Ho Chi Minh guy isn't that bad.
No.
I think I like what this Ho Chi Minh guy is talking about.
Yeah.
Even if I don't agree with this whole communist thing, at least he's protecting us.
Word.
And, like, this is Catholics alike, too. Like, at this point, we talked about the whole Catholic prosecution and shit, why all this sparked off and stuff, but at this point, that's lost in translation.
Yeah.
It's fucking gone.
Yeah.
It's in too deep, man.
Yep. A lot of Vietnamese citizens are supporting him and his cause against hopes of expelling the French, British, and Japanese. Because at this point, they're all working together to just be like, yo, fuck these farmers, dude.
Yep.
These little retards. We got books.
We got bleach, faggot.
Books, bro.
So throughout October of 1945, the Viet Minh get fucked on a bunch. And, too lazy to write it out. Listeners, if you want to look it up. October 1945, Viet Minh are getting fucked on, okay? Just research that.
They're getting straight dick.
No pun
Yeah.
intended. We love homosexuals, but yeah.
One battle shows that a bonsai attack on both sides commenced, and they engaged in hand-to-hand combat. This
So
was
they really going ham.
this was a platoon of Japanese soldiers and a platoon of the Vietnamese, and they met at this ridge, and there was just like this mud pit. It's
Oh
like
my
in the
God.
middle of it, and they were just like they were out of ammo and shit,
And they just said, fuck it,
and
we're
they were
not
just
done.
like, fuck it,
We're
dude.
not done.
And so they just charged down into this shit, just going crazy, fucking each other up, dude. It's like
Stomping each
martial
other.
artists.
Yeah.
Shit.
Elbows, eye gouges, all that crazy shit.
It sounds very cool, right? Very, very honorable, right? Yeah. Well, the British show up. The British show up, and they're like, "Oh, well, what the fuck is that?" And just open fire
Starts
on this
sparking on
pit,
it, yeah.
dude.
Just open fire on them, bro.
Just destroy them, dude. It
Just
ends
shoot
in
the
a
fuck out of 'em.
Vietnamese loss.
Jesus.
Yeah. I just thought that was really hilarious that they were just like
pulled up and were like,
just giving it
"Oi."
their all, and then just some dude in a tank just rolls up and is like, "All right, dude." just-
Yeah, this is what we're doing. Yeah. Jesus.
So yeah, in December, the British began to hand control back over to the French strictly, but they are unable to hold out due to them sucking. The British are like, alright, yeah, you guys can handle this yourself, here you go. And as soon as they, like, hand the French territories back to, like, strictly them, they just, like, immediately start losing them.
Oh, fuck.
The Japanese fully surrender and the British begin to withdraw. So the Japanese are like, yeah, we want to go home. We're done here.
We're cooked.
Yeah.
I mean, we're done. We got stomped.
It's fucking over, guys.
Yeah.
What don't y'all understand?
Shit.
1946, France reestablishes its colony of Indochina and sets up peace talks with Ho Chi Minh. They decide to recognize his colony, or they decide to recognize his republic as a free state within the colony.
Alright,
which that's all sounds well and good,
yeah.
But if y'all want to look at it, think about Indian reservations. Yeah, that's
okay.
That's all it is.
Fuck.
It's like, alright, you get this area, but, like, we're surrounding you.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
Minh is dissatisfied and tells his supporters that he will not abandon the cause. Political discussions on what to do with Indochina and a series of skirmishes occurs throughout 1946, ending with over 600 civilian deaths and no upper hand gained on either side.
So it was just
it's like a lot of pointless fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Despite Ho Chi Minh reaching out for negotiations in December of 1946, the final one fails and war is on the horizon. And that's going to be the end of this first episode.
Hey, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the fucking history lesson for the night. When we bring that shit back,
We're going to take a break here real quick.
Hell yeah.